In today's tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to spin two Diabolos at the same time. Hey guys, I am Marco from Spyros Bros, and I'm a Diabolo master for 14 years, and today we will teach you how to spin two Diabolos on the string, which is also known as solo ham in yo-yoing. This skill will require lots of spin and stability on your Diabolos to keep them orbiting on the string. That's why we use our own signature triple bearing Diabolos. These Diabolos provide long-lasting spin on our tricks, and we use these LEDs on our Diabolos, which can help you and your audience see the two Diabolos spinning a lot better, and it is way cooler. So get your Diabolo Pro set with LEDs by clicking the link in our description. Before learning how to spin two Diabolos on the string, I recommend you learn how to do hand toss and catches, hand spins, and around the leg. If you want to learn these, the link will be right up here. The first thing we need to check before learning how to do two Diabolos is your equipment. Your string should be at least as long as your wingspan. Shorter strings will give less room for the Diabolos to go around each other. And both the Diabolos should be the exact same model for perfect rhythm of the solo ham spinning. Now let's learn how to enter into two Diabolo solo ham. There are two ways to get into your two Diabolo orbits: wrap, tug, and unloop start, or hand toss and catch start. For the wrap method, place both sticks on your non-dominant hand, hold the Diabolo by the cup facing towards you. Next, place the Diabolo on top of the string near your dominant stick, turn the Diabolo downwards on the string, and turn the Diabolo to the outer left part of the string so the Diabolo axle can be wrapped in a loop for tugging and speeding up the Diabolo. Next, spin the Diabolo with your hand and keep tugging on the Diabolo to create more spin and to prevent it from crashing into your first Diabolo. After you have created the spin, unwrap the Diabolo and both Diabolos should be off string. Some things to keep note of for the wrap, tug, and unloop start. As you tug on your Diabolo, you will notice your Diabolo will turn outwards from you. So I suggest you point the Diabolo more towards your non-dominant side so that when you start tugging, the Diabolo will naturally turn directly in front of you. Also, when the second Diabolo is aligned with your first Diabolo during the tugging, turn your stick to be 180 degrees parallel with the Diabolo axle so that the string doesn't hit the Diabolo cups. This will make your tugging much easier. Another note is that you will want to keep tugging your Diabolo as much on top of your other Diabolo and close to your stick. Tugging with the Diabolo far from your stick can lead into collision with the two Diabolos, or even a weak release from your unlooping. And tugging lower to the side of your other Diabolo can make it much harder to execute your tugs and the unlooping to your solo ham, causing your solo ham to be more flat. So remember to do your tugging on top of your Diabolo and close to your stick at all times. For the hand toss and catch method, all you have to do is use your hand to throw the Diabolo in the air with enough spin, so it can fall into the string where both the Diabolos should be orbiting around each other like this. This method won't provide much spin and momentum for your second Diabolo, so I suggest you loop one of the Diabolos with your string to get back into the wrap and unloop start. We will learn this later in the video. And those are the two ways on how to enter the two Diabolo orbits. The next method is how to do the solo ham spinning, aka the orbit or the shuffle. Remember, the orbit's motion will be the same application from around the leg orbits. Orbit should always go towards your dominant hand and be lifted up from your non-dominant hand. There are 4 different techniques to do your solo ham: synchronous hand movements, asynchronous hand movements, non-dominant hand lifts, and dominant hand pushes. Synchronous hand movements use a pushing down method with both hands to keep the Diabolos orbiting. This method is good for those who want to generate more power and push in your orbits. The more push you give with your synchronized hands, the bigger the orbit should be. Async hand movements use a lifting method with your non-dominant hand and the pushing method with your dominant hand. This is the most common method used from Diabolo players because it is easier to adjust the height and the power of your orbits too, especially when it comes to orbits that are weak and are about to die out. Use the async method to recover from any orbits that are not as stable. If any of these methods confuse you, we suggest you use your non-dominant hand as the primary hand of the two Diabolo spinning to practice the lifting and bring over the Diabolo to the other side. It might turn out to be weaker than normal shuffle, but at least you will get them to keep orbiting around each other for a while. This is also like an asynchronous hand movement, but your non-dominant hand plays a bigger role in this technique. Or, you can use your dominant hand as the primary hand to keep pushing your Diabolos around to strengthen the orbits. This is also like a synchronous hand movement, but your dominant hand plays a bigger role in this technique. Now, if any of these methods are still quite confusing, then I suggest you get another person or Diabolo player, if you can, to throw in a second spinning Diabolo towards your string on your dominant side. This is the easiest way to learn your 2 Diabolo orbits because the spin on the Diabolo and the power from your partner's toss creates the momentum of 2 Diabolos to orbit around each other by themselves. You can then study the orbits from that point and see how long they can shuffle around each other before they die out. Eventually, as you keep practicing that, you will find out for yourself what 2 Diabolo orbit techniques works best for you. Once your 2 Diabolo solo ham is solid, you can recharge the spin on one of your Diabolos like this. Rewrap the Diabolo with your string on your dominant hand when it just passes the peak of its toss. Then proceed to what you learned from the wrap and unloop start. Once you have mastered all of these, you can start to learn and practice some of these 2 Diabolo tricks.